Saturn going direct from 3rd of November 2023 and going to be direct till roughly end of June 2024, the next year. These next roughly 7.5 months to 8 months can be a very important time period for you, where Saturn will activate stronger all those areas that it is the Karak of, as well as the areas of which it is lording in your respective horoscope. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Whenever a planet goes retrograde and then it goes direct, it has a strong bearing. It's as if a catapult has been pulled back and then released. So a planet which has been retrograde for some time and then gone direct will have a lot of strong effect, at least in the first few months when it goes direct, especially when the planet could be the two very important planets which are the slower moving planets, specifically Jupiter and Saturn. Now Saturn, which is the slowest moving planet, and when it goes direct, it has a very strong bearing of those areas of your life, especially related to career, related to your karma, related to your day-to-day activities, as well as to those areas of the horoscope which it is lording by virtue of its rulership of the specific houses. So let's jump in and see how Saturn's going direct from the 3rd of November this year until end of June 2024 next year is going to impact each one of our rising ascendant signs. Now for Aries ascendant natives, we know that Saturn is transiting through your 11th house in its own Mool Trikona sign of Aquarius. Saturn now going direct means it has a direct bearing on Jupiter in the Lagna. Now Saturn being the ruler of your 11th and the 10th house of your karma, of your career, and now Saturn going direct. So Saturn's aspect will be more strongly activated. So this means that Saturn's aspect on your Lagna, on Jupiter in your Lagna, while Jupiter rules your 9th house of gains, travel, your educational qualifications, high learning, spiritual learnings and high experiences is all getting activated, which means that during this time you may also get an opportunity to either get into some workshops for some learning experiences. Travel, long distance travel may also get activated, and this could also be a time period where if you have really worked hard, specifically connected to your career, then you may get better gains from your efforts. This is also because Saturn's 7th aspect is on the 5th house, which is the 8th house to the 10th house. And remember, for Aries ascendant native, Saturn also rules your 10th house of your work, your career. So Saturn aspecting the 5th house, the 8th house to the 10th house, which means that Saturn could also activate while going direct certain things which have been stagnant so far. So if there has been a role in your career or move up or moving out of the organization, you applied to some jobs or some roles, this is the time when they may come by, or some news may come in, some communication surely will come in for that. And Saturn being placed in the 11th house, so 11th house of social network is also activated, but this is also about getting connected with people from other departments within your organization. This could also mean more time spent with friends. So if you have not been getting time since some months when Saturn was retrograde, so now it is activating some more time for spending time with your family, in your social life and so on. And with Saturn's 10th aspect on the Scorpio sign in the 8th house, which means that Saturn is going to be protective of sudden changes, sudden challenges, sudden upheavals, sudden issues. However, Saturn being the lord of the 10th, placed in the 11th, aspecting Jupiter, which is also the lord of the 12th house, and Rahu now transiting even a few days before Saturn into the Pisces sign in the 12th house. This is activating strongly service for you connected to those areas which Saturn is aspecting in the 8th house, which could be for some of you wealth management, insurance, taxation, all these areas are getting strongly activated. So overall, on the whole, for Aries ascendant natives, a better time period specifically connected to career, role in career, interdepartment connects, learning experiences, spiritual experiences, learning opportunities, workshops, presentation and so on. Now for Taurus ascendant natives, Saturn is placed in your 10th house and now gone direct after a few months. So here Saturn is strongly activating, or it's all its three aspects. So its aspect on Jupiter is strongly getting activated, and Jupiter, mind you, rules your 11th house of wishes and desires, social strata, social network, working with different departments or other departments within your organization, or even higher brands, higher organizations as well. So Saturn placed in the 10th house, while it was retrograde, it has kind of stagnated results of career since a few months. And Saturn also ruling the 9th house of gains. So for Taurus ascendant natives, Saturn being more stronger yoga karaka, so Saturn is going to activate either for you, those people who are working in MNCs, multinational corporations, a better role or change in role, or even getting placed in a better role in another organization, or even going abroad, or for some of you getting placed on site may also be there for those people who are working in MNCs. If you're working in an MNC, you would know what I mean when I say on site. But Saturn is also aspecting with the 7th aspect the 4th house, which means Saturn is aspecting the 4th house of your domestic life. So here there may be some role which may come by for you, some project may come by for you, because of which your time spent at home may be under duress. So now what may happen is that your social life is getting activated, because Rahu is moving a few days before Saturn's going direct into the Pisces sign in the 11th house. So social activity is strongly getting picked up. It's also the festive season in India, so obviously the social activity also will pick up because of you wanting to be with friends and family. However, what will happen is your social life may pick up, but you may not be able to give that much time. So it may be that you do a lot of work in your office, in your career, and then you reach home late. There's always a rush, getting caught in traffic. So that could surely be for over the next few months for you. However, Saturn also aspecting to its 10th aspect Scorpio sign in your 7th house, which could mean that because of sudden flurry of activities, some disturbance at home as well, especially with your spouse. So be a little careful, be very patient, deal with her or him with a lot of love, affection and smile. Don't let the issues around you affect your relationship, because this could be only a short period. However, for some of you, your expenses may go out. Obviously this is a festive season, but because of Jupiter ruling the 8th house and going into the 12th house of waste and excess, the good thing is Saturn is a little protective. So some of you may want to splurge. However, you yourself will come to your senses, or somebody in your family may tell you that this is not the right time, or may pull you back and say, be a little careful of how you end up spending from your pocket. So overall, career is getting activated, gains are getting activated, social life is getting activated, but some slight disturbance at home, domestic life is getting little bit maybe topsy-turvy. However, keep your patience, keep your a sane head on your shoulders, and try and do better in your teamwork, in your career and your work. And don't push back bosses or superiors at work hard, because now when Saturn is going direct, this is the time for you to also gain appreciation from them, also gain acknowledgement from them. So overall, Saturn being the most strongest yoga karaka for Taurus ascendant native, this is the time for you to make milk Saturn over the next 6 months, 7 months. So please go for it. For Gemini ascendant natives, Saturn rules your 8th house and the 9th house, and Saturn is placed in the 9th house, aspecting Jupiter with its 3rd aspect, aspecting the 3rd house of effort with the 7th aspect, and aspecting the 6th house and the Scorpio sign with its 10th aspect. So aspects are strongly getting activated because Saturn is going direct. So here Saturn's bearing on your social life will be higher, gains will be higher, and wishes and desires coming true will be higher, which means some of your wishes and desires will surely come true, but may not be all. So if you were planning, say for example, to make some purchases, you may not be able to make all those purchases, say maybe domestic appliances, but surely 2 or 3 of them, if you have plans for 5 or 6, maybe half of them may come true. If you have travel plans, then travel plans may take a back seat. You may have to redo your planning a little bit also, or sudden travel plans may get activated. For example, you had put a travel plan on the back burner, you didn't want to travel, or you thought you may not need to travel. Suddenly plans get made, and within a few days or within a few weeks you need to travel. So that may surely come about because Saturn is in the ninth house of long distance travel, which while it also rules the 8th house of suddenness. So that is surely getting activated. The other thing what is getting activated is the last moment you may be asked to take up a project, take up a responsibility. And so Saturn's 7th aspect being on the 3rd house of effort, so you may need to put in extra effort during the next 5 to 6 months. Surely the next 3 months are more highlighted. So November, December and January is some period where some of you may find that you have to bend your backs a little bit more. Maybe December could be slightly lean period for you, especially during the holiday season. However, you will rush to complete work also before the holiday season begins in December. So overall, a good period for Gemini ascendant natives from an effort perspective, because your efforts could make gains for you, but over a period of time. So which means in the first 5 to 6 months you may feel that you're running ragged like a headless chicken, putting so much effort, not getting the fruits of your labor. But you will see that by the end of April next year, when Jupiter will be moving into your Taurus sign in the 12th house, that's when you will find that all the effort that you have made now when Saturn goes direct will come and bear the fruits for you. Saturn also aspecting with his 10th aspect Scorpio sign in the 6th house. Service is getting strongly activated. So Saturn placed in the 9th house of gains. 8th house is also what it rules. So suddenly some gains coming in because of higher effort that you have put in service. Saturn is also protective of the Dusthana. So Saturn is also aspecting the Scorpio sign, which means some niggling energies, injuries or some niggling sicknesses may sudden turn chronic or may flare up. However, they may not turn serious. A few visits to the clinic may also come by, or taking some medications may also come by for you. So overall, for Gemini ascendant natives, luck is getting activated, gains are getting activated, some wishes and desires getting fulfilled, new projects coming, meeting some deadlines, services getting activated, Saturn being protective of expenses. All these areas are getting activated for Gemini ascendant natives. Now for Cancer ascendant natives, Saturn rules the 7th and the 8th house, and Saturn is transiting through your 8th house. So for some of you who have been making plans of some teamwork or getting engaged or getting into a relationship, making a commitment in a relationship, or even getting married. So this was on the back burner, you're trying to get dates, you're trying to get married, and however this was not coming by. However, now that Saturn is getting in its direct motion back, Saturn aspecting Jupiter, which also rules your 9th house as well as your 6th house, so and transiting through the 10th house, so that is getting strongly activated. So especially for women who are of Cancer rising, for them marriage may be on the cards, relationship may also be on the card. However, a change in relationship may also be on the cards if you're not careful, because the 7th lord and the 8th lord, and while being in the 8th house, is aspecting your Jupiter. So if you have been thinking or rethinking about the current relationship you are in, this may bring about a change, at least in your mindset, if the relationship also doesn't break. So don't allow it to, if it's not too serious a problem with your current partner, don't allow it to overly affect you. Allow some time, and this particular time where you are rethinking on your relationship may subside. If you hurry into a decision, getting into a breakup or something, then there will surely be a challenge for Cancer rising people, especially for women. For men, it's a very good period, especially if you're working in organizations which are connected to taxation, IT, banking, all MNCs. It's very, very good time. Saturn aspecting Jupiter in the 10th house, while it is from the 8th house, so all these areas are strongly getting activated. So growth, change in role, higher responsibilities, and most importantly, your higher management thinking more wisely about your role, may even be looking at a more serious role for you, even maybe higher responsibility. Whether the designation comes to you now or over the next 6 months, you'll have to see. However, because Saturn will remain direct till June next year, so definitely a strong chance that either you get a promotion within the organization or you get a chance of moving into a new organization with a higher growth. So overall, still a very good placement for Cancer rising people, especially for men, those people who are working and career conscious, which is even for women. Saturn 7th aspect on your 2nd house of income, so Saturn will give you stability in income over the next 6 months. However, growth opportunity may come by to you with the fag end of June next year when Saturn goes retrograde. So that's when a chance may come by to you between March and June to take up a new responsibility or moving up, or an increment may also be on the cards. Why increment or connected to change? Because Saturn with its 10th aspect is aspecting Scorpio sign in the 5th house. The 5th house is the 8th house to the 10th house, and your Scorpio sign is there. Scorpio sign is a sign of transformation and change. So surely, basis how Mars is placed in your horoscope, surely that opportunity is getting activated for Cancer rising people. For Leo ascendant natives, Saturn has been transiting through its own sign, multicorner sign, in your 7th house since almost 10 months, 11 months now, and now Saturn has gone direct, which means its aspects are getting strongly activated. So Saturn's third aspect on Jupiter is very strongly getting activated, its 7th aspect on your Lagna, and its 10th aspect on your 4th house or your domestic life. So one thing which is strongly getting activated for Leo ascendant natives is Saturn going direct, means for those ladies, for women, where there were some challenges in your married life, in challenges in terms of how the spousal responsibilities are turning out, the equation with your spouse, how the environment at home is. So for them it is turning around, which means that if things were not so very good between you and your partner, things may get better. For some of you where you have not made a commitment, you may get into a commitment. Some of you may even get married, because Saturn is transiting through the 7th house, turning direct, aspecting Jupiter. This is stronger for women surely, and Jupiter also being the ruler of the 5th house. So through romance, a stronger relationship, a stronger commitment is coming about for Leo rising people. And because Jupiter also rules your 8th house, gone into the 9th house, means sudden changes, sudden challenges, sudden transformations may bring about gains connected to teamwork, connected to partnership, connected to business. So those of you who are in those teams where you have teamwork is very important for them, gains are coming, sudden changes are coming about for you. This is also stronger because Rahu will be moving few days before Saturn turning direct into the Pisces sign, into the 8th house, and activating the 8th house strongly. So surely a better period for those people who are connected to teamwork, partnership, business, and so forth. Saturn aspecting your Lagna, which means through your effort, through your gains, you may also move up the social ladder, even maybe move up roles and responsibilities, or even designation at work. So surely that is coming by for you. Some of you, there may be a relocation also over the next 2-3 months. You may change places where you live, because Saturn's 10th aspect is on the 4th house and the Scorpio sign, which is the sign of transformation. Saturn going direct, aspecting your 4th house of home in the Scorpio sign. There may be some changes either at home, location of home, or some changes or improvement at home may also come by, and relocation also for few of you. So surely for some people, because of a commitment and relationship that is coming about, or travel, because of travel it is coming about, because of a growth or increment it is coming about, but also maybe because of a relocation. So overall, for Leo ascendant natives, this is a time for growth, this is a time to make changes at home, this is a time for renewed commitment in your responsibilities in your life. So make use of this time while Saturn remains direct. Now for Virgo rising people, Virgo ascendant natives, Saturn will be turning direct in its own sign, its multicorner sign in Aquarius, where it has been transiting over the last 10 months. Now going direct means it's all the 3 aspects will be strongly activated. So Saturn ruling the 5th and the 6th house, its aspect on Jupiter on the 8th house is strongly getting activated, its 7th aspect on the 12th house is strongly getting activated, and its 10th aspect on the 3rd house and the Scorpio sign is getting activated. So firstly, Saturn ruling the 5th and the 6th house, placed in the 6th house, service is very strongly getting activated. But this is also getting strongly activated for those people who are in the more truer services, which means not indirectly you are serving, but directly serving the client, the end customer. Like for example, you are in pharma, you are in medicine, you are lawyer, where you are directly in touch with your clients, you are in a spa service, hairdresser, anything where you are connecting to the clients directly, even a shopkeeper where you deal with the customers directly. This is less for those people where you are working in an organization, and through your role in the organization you are indirectly serving the client or the customer. So surely direct contact with client is strongly getting activated, and that is also coming by with growth. And because Saturn is aspecting Jupiter in the 8th house, while Jupiter rules your 7th house, and Rahu is going to move into your Pisces sign in your 7th house a few days before Saturn turning direct. So here this means for those people who have or they are in a relationship, and Jupiter, the lord of your 7th house and the 8th house, which means Saturn is being protective of issues or challenges if you have worked on the relationship, if you have been committed. If not, then Saturn is trying to force a change upon you because of aspecting Jupiter in the 8th house while remaining in the 6th house, which means that if you are having challenges in your relationship, be very careful of who you are listening to, who you are giving a patient ear to or hearing to, because you may be unduly affected by people who may not know exact situation between you and your spouse and may mislead you while assuming they are giving you strong advice or good advice. So be a little careful on the relationship front who you are seeking advice. Some of us may reach out to friends hoping that they are giving us good advice. They may still be friends, but the advice may be inimical. The friends may not be inimical, but the advice may turn out to be inimical or not in our favor. So be a little careful on the relationship front, on the commitment front, because Saturn is going through the 6th house in transit but turning direct, and the 6th house is the 12th house to the 7th house. The second thing is Saturn is also aspecting with the 7th aspect your 12th house. So here Saturn aspecting your 12th house from the 6th house means while Saturn is protective of the dusthanas, however, because some small sicknesses, niggling injuries or chronic ailments, visit to the clinics may be coming about, or visit to the pharmaceutical or the pharmacist may come about, where you have to go to the medical store, pick up medicines or go to the doctor, take some tests. That is surely getting activated. On a very rare occasion, you may have somebody in your family getting hospitalized, maybe for a very short duration, nothing serious, so don't please lose your sleep over it. And Saturn with its 10th aspect aspecting Scorpio sign in the 3rd house of effort, which means because if you have worked really hard, you have been very committed in your work, then because of your hard work, a transformation and how your hard work is being seen by your superiors will be coming by. So your communication and how hard you have worked on your communication, how hard you have worked in trying to influence others may come by. If not, then this is activating a period where your communication may be very important over the next 6 months, which means using your branding skills, communication skills, influencing skills, there may be a transformation of how you work or how you are able to influence people. So surely the next 6 months are very important from a service point of view for Virgo ascendant natives. So make use of this time, be wise, take your time in terms of looking at what responsibilities you have and in terms of your relationship. Then let the, at least for the troubling time to pass by from a relationship front, make use it on the career front. This is a overall balanced period for Virgo ascendant natives. Now for Libra ascendant natives, the Libra rising people, Saturn rules your 4th and the 5th house, and Saturn is transiting in your 5th house but not turning direct. For Libra ascendant natives, Saturn is a very strong yoga karaka, which means Saturn will try to give one of its best benefits while remaining direct for Libra ascendant natives. So now that Saturn has gone direct after a few months, which means Saturn is strongly activating both your 4th house and your 5th house, but the 5th house even stronger. 5th house to the 8th house to the 10th house. So here some change in terms of how you are looking at career, work, your vocation and your remuneration, because Saturn is also aspecting Scorpio sign in the 2nd house with the 10th aspect is coming by. So there may be some opportunity of change, there may be an opportunity of gains, there may be opportunity of investments connected to even real estate. So make use of this opportunity of either change in your role at work or change in your career or change in your location as well, or an opportunity surely to make money. Some of you who have been working may think that should I be working under somebody or take up my hobby or what I like as a profession going forward. So that may also bring about some transformation in your income also, but be careful how you do that. One of the reasons being is Saturn is aspecting Jupiter, which is also your 6th lord in the 7th house. So if you have been planning to do something of your own, a partnership is better for you than going it alone. However, be careful of what kind of partner you select, because the 6th lord in the 7th house under the aspect of Saturn, while Rahu is going to transit a few days before Saturn turning direct into your Pisces sign in the 6th house. So high chance of being misled and taking up something which may not be a cup of tea surely there. So be a little careful, especially when you are in a team situation at work or in your organization or trying to take up a new role or in business. Saturn's 7th aspect on your 11th house, which means because of some changes of Saturn going direct, there may be more social life getting activated. So more meeting up with friends, letting your hair down, going out, visiting, traveling, even international travel may also come by for Libra ascendant natives, because Ketu has moved away from your Lagna and moving into your 12th house. So overall, a time for relationships to be accentuated, partnerships to be accentuated, teamwork to be accentuated, change in hobbies or growth connected to work, or how you look at work itself is getting activated, but it has a longer or stronger bearing on your income itself. So surely decision making should be more balanced for Libra ascendant native, because the symbol that you hold or that represents your sign is the balance or the weighing scales. Now for Scorpio rising sign people, Saturn rules your 3rd house and the 4th house, placed in your 4th house in transit, and has been in this house since last 10 months. However, now Saturn is going direct, so Saturn is strongly activating the 3rd house of effort, 4th house of domestic life, real estate, investments, conveniences, and Saturn is also aspecting all the 3 houses where its aspects fall, because aspects are also becoming stronger, Saturn being going direct now. So Saturn's 3rd aspect is on Jupiter, the lord of the 5th house and the 6th house. So here maybe you may think that should I take up a new role? So this is more the thinking process rather than an action. However, the thinking may also lead to an opportunity, an actual opportunity of making a change in your role, also connected to service. Why service? Jupiter is placed in the 6th house of service while ruling the 5th house of gains. 5th house is the 8th house to the 10th house. So a change or a transformation in your service connected to gains. So a thought may bring click for you, or you may think actively, should I change my job or service, or how I look at service, or the roles that may come by for you. This is important because Saturn's 10th aspect is on the Lagna itself, but on the Scorpio sign, the sign of transformation. So transformation in your service may come by bringing gains. However, be careful, because Rahu would be transiting into your 5th house in the sign of Pisces a few days before Saturn goes direct, which means there is a chance that you may get misled of thinking the opportunity is far greater, maybe far more prosperity bringing, so, or more lucrative. So be a little careful of how you look at that change, especially connected to career, because Saturn's 7th aspect is on your 10th house of career. So be a little careful how you take career related decisions, because overall your standing in society, stature in society may also get affected. If the opportunity is really good, especially connected to MNCs, and if you have done your due diligence, then it can be an excellent period for you, especially if in your natal chart Rahu is very well placed, especially also because Jupiter also rules the 2nd house of income. So income in some way is getting accentuated or activated for you to even think whether I am getting the right remuneration for my current role. So overall, some transformation is surely coming by for Scorpio ascendant natives. The Saturn aspect on Jupiter, some role change, some gains coming also, some increments also in your in terms of what your remuneration is on a day-to-day basis, or in your work or in your career. So do your due diligence for any change which is coming about, even in your investments, because Rahu is getting into the 5th house of investment. So if you have made some real estate investments, do keep an eye on whether you have made all your payments, the documentation is proper, and you have got all your documentation under check, because suddenly some notices may come by where you have to end up paying more money. So for Scorpio ascendant natives, career is getting accentuated, standing in society is getting activated, change and gains are also getting activated. Now for Sagittarius ascendant natives, Saturn rules the 2nd and the 3rd house, placed in the 3rd house and transits in the last 10 months. Now Saturn going direct, which means that Saturn, all the 3 aspects are strongly getting activated. So is the 2nd house of income, increments, bank balance, nutrition, and Saturn in the 3rd house of effort, which means here, since the last 5-6 months, whatever hard work you have made is now bearing fruits, and the effort is bearing fruits in terms of bringing about a change also in your role connected to work. Why work? Because Jupiter is in the 5th house, the 5th house is the 8th to the 10th house, but this is also bringing about a change more to do with your domestic life than so much with your career, which means that you may move houses, you may shift houses, you may make investments, because of which now you have to travel from a different location, which means you have to relook at how you reach office, who you work with, should you work in some other department, should you ask for a relocation closer to the place that you are buying your residence, so on. All these calculations will come about for Sagittarius ascendant native. This is also more important because Jupiter, which Saturn is going to aspect directly now, it's a stronger aspect, is also your Lagna Lord. So change in your status in society, but some way connected to home, domestic houses, domestic conveniences is surely getting activated. So keep in mind that Saturn's 7th aspect is also getting strongly activated. So the 9th house of gains, foreign travels, experiential learning is also getting activated. Now remember, in the Kalpurush Kundli, Jupiter also rules the 9th house. So Saturn aspecting the 9th house, Saturn aspecting Jupiter in the 5th house of gains, while Jupiter is also your ascendant lord, is bringing about a more stronger bearing or the strongest bearing for Sagittarius ascendant natives during this transit. And the other important thing is Saturn with his 10th aspect aspecting the Scorpio sign, but in the 12th house. Again, the 12th house has the Pisces sign energies in the Kalpurush Kundli. So this is a very strong bearing for Sagittarius ascendant natives, because Saturn is aspecting Jupiter, aspecting the other house, the 9th house, which Jupiter rules in the Kalpurush Kundli, aspecting the Pisces sign, which is also the 12th house in the Kalpurush Kundli. So it has a strong bearing for Sagittarius ascendant natives. So career is getting activated, expenses are getting activated. So be a little careful how you spend your money. You may let your hair down, a lot of social activity may happen, because of which you may splurge money. So be careful there. Why splurging money? Saturn rules the 2nd house of income, but also 2nd house of money in the bank. So because of your effort to party and let your hair down, you may end up spending more during the festive season. So be a little careful there. Investments may also come by. Make sure that you do your due diligence before you make your investment, because you may end up paying slightly more than what you are envisaged or what the property is actually worth. So overall, still maybe one of the strongest period for Sagittarius ascendant natives. So make best use of over the next 6 months. This could be more change bringing for you than any other rising sign. Now for Capricorn ascendant natives, Saturn rules your Lagna, rules your 2nd house, transiting through your 2nd house over the last 10 months. However, Saturn is now going direct in this Multikona sign, in Aquarius sign. So Saturn is not only activating the Lagna as well as the 2nd house of income, earning, increments, but also all the 3 aspects. So Saturn is aspecting with his 3rd aspect Jupiter in the 4th house, while Jupiter also rules your 12th house, and Jupiter also rules your 3rd house of effort. And Rahu would be transiting into your 3rd house even a few days before Saturn going direct. So it has a very strong bearing, direct bearing on the 3rd house of effort planet Jupiter going into the 4th house. So which means some of you may bring work home even during the festive season over the next few months, where festivals are on the cards for some people who are living in the subcontinent, especially Diwali is coming up on, and then you also have Christmas coming there. So lots of festivals from now on. So you may find yourself very busy getting a lot of work home. So be a little careful, balance at home how much work you finish at office. Try and finish more at office rather than bringing the work home, because there could be some disturbance at home, especially for women. Capricorn ascendant natives, Saturn aspecting Jupiter in the 4th house, you could come down hard or heavier on your husbands and your spouses. So be a little careful how you treat your spouses here. The other thing is Saturn's 7th aspect is falling on the 8th house. Saturn is more protective of the 8th house, because Saturn is the Karak of the 8th house. However, the 8th house is also the house of upheavals, transformations, obstacles. So Saturn, while it is being protective, Saturn may also give an opportunity for increment, sudden increment, because Saturn is also ruling your 2nd house of income and the Lagna. So there may be sudden role coming by for you. A boss may reach out to you and say, would you want to take this role? Would you want to take up something which is different from earlier, or even a role change, even a designation change, or even a departmental change? Why departmental change? Saturn with its 10th aspect is aspecting the Scorpio sign of transformation in the 11th house of interdepartmental work. So some of you may either be given some role where you start working more with other department people, or you may also have to work with the masses. Your role may get into a situation where you may have to deal with clients directly, or more client facing roles, more customer facing roles may also come by for you. Or for some of you, there may be increment connected to a higher role, higher designation, either within the organization or even outside of the organization. Why outside of the organization? Keep in mind that Ketu would be moving away from your 10th house and into your 9th house a few days before Saturn going direct. So Ketu is releasing its grip on your career, so the stagnated movement up is getting released, and so there may even be a movement up. So either movement up within the organization, but an opportunity also moving outside of the organization with some increment, which may also affect your earning potential and also your status. So overall, a pretty good period for Capricorn ascendant natives, as long as you are keeping the harmony at home. You have worked really hard, you have been very committed, you have been very disciplined. So a better period over the next 6 months is surely coming back for Capricorn ascendant natives. For Aquarius ascendant natives, Saturn has been transiting from your or into your Lagna itself over the last 10 months in a small Trikona sign. While Saturn also rules your 12th house of waste, excess, foreign travel, foreign lands, working in MNCs, hospitals, solitary work and so forth. So Saturn going direct now is activating the 12th house as well as your Lagna, but Saturn is also aspecting all 3 aspects, the 3rd aspect, the 7th and the 10th. So now Saturn with the 3rd aspect is aspecting Jupiter, the lord of the 2nd house, in the 3rd house of effort. So which Saturn is giving you a message that if you really worked hard over the last 6-7 months while it was retrograde, it is time to be able to milk that period now, especially with Rahu moving into your 2nd house a few days before Saturn going direct. So Saturn is giving an opportunity. Mind you, Rahu also co-rules the Aquarius sign, your rising sign, along with Saturn. So Rahu going into the 2nd house of income and Saturn aspecting Jupiter, the lord of the 2nd house, which means increment is also coming by for you, especially connected to foreign sources or unique sources or different sources. So an increment is also on the cards, and because Jupiter also rules your 11th house, so some wishes and desires also coming true for Aquarius ascendant native surely, because of the hard work which you have put in over the last 6-7 months. So some gains are surely coming in, societal gains are also coming in. If you are in business or partnership, that is coming good for you. For some of you, Saturn also aspecting the 7th house, which means Saturn is allowing relationships coming by, allowing commitments being made, some of which have been stagnant. So some of you who have been hesitant for a commitment, or whose partners have been hesitant for a commitment or getting into a relationship or acknowledging a relationship, that is strongly getting activated. And because Saturn is also aspecting with its 10th aspect the 10th house in the Scorpio sign, so there could be surely some change in your higher ups. Some superior may be moving out, new person may be coming in, or you may be asked to report into a new person, or there may be some responsibility because of which you also start working with some other superior also connected to other department. Why other department? Because Jupiter also rules the 11th house of interdepartmental work also. So surely some change is coming up at a power circle within your organization, which may affect you directly or indirectly. So overall, a good period for Aquarius ascendant natives, increments, hard work bearing fruits for you. Some expenses may also come by during the festive season, but definitely a good period for getting into commitments, into partnership, some change in roles and responsibilities of your superiors which have a bearing for you over the next 6-7 months. Overall, one of the better periods for Aquarius ascendant natives. Milk that period, putting in hard work, put in the hard effort, and then you may see that may be a better period for you, especially with livelihood and increment surely coming by your way. Now for Pisces rising people, Pisces ascendant natives, Saturn rules your 11th house as well as your 12th house, has been transiting through your 12th house over the last 10 months and will continue to do so, but now turning direct in a few days. So Saturn turning direct means Saturn is activating surely your 11th house and the 12th house, but Saturn is also activating or aspecting stronger the third, with his 3rd aspect, the 2nd house with Jupiter is placed, with the 7th aspect the 6th house, and with his 10th aspect the Scorpio sign in the 9th house. So one thing it is doing is for Pisces rising people, Saturn is aspecting the Lagna Lord in the 2nd house of income, increment, livelihood. So if some of you have worked really hard over the last 6-7 months, Saturn is paying back. Saturn is allowing you that increment. The increment may not be very huge, maybe a small one, but it could be substantial enough for you to feel happy. And so for some of you, it may also be connected to moving up the ladder or moving into an MNC, moving into a new role, especially if you are working for a multinational corporation or a foreign company. This is a better period for you because Saturn also rules the 11th house of wishes and desires coming through. So wishes and desires coming through for those people who are working in MNCs or working in individual roles, for them increment is on the cards. Better stature, better situation at work is also working on for you. This is also important because Saturn with the 7th aspect is aspecting the 6th house of service and aspecting the Lagna Lord in the 2nd house of income. So through your service, Lagna Lord or your status increasing in society because of some increment as well. So this is overall a good period for you. Why through career? Because Jupiter also rules your 10th house of career, of karma, and placed in the 2nd house of income by also being the Lagna Lord. And why MNCs or foreign companies? Because Rahu will be moving a few days before Saturn going direct into your Lagna. Mind you, Rahu also co-rules Aquarius sign or your 12th house for Pisces ascendant natives, because Saturn and Rahu both co-rule Aquarius, and Rahu moving into your Lagna. So very strong period for gains, foreign travel, maybe increment into a foreign company if you're working in a domestic company and all that. So one wish and desire surely coming for you. Now Saturn's 10th aspect is on the 9th house, or long distance travel, but in the Scorpio sign. And mind you, the 9th house is also the natural house of Jupiter, being the Sagittarius sign for the Kalpurush Kundli, and Sagittarius sign for Pisces ascendant natives is the 10th house. So gains may come for you, or transformation and gains coming by for career is also being activated for Pisces ascendant natives. So overall a period where you may splurge a little bit during the festive season, but it will still control expenses enough. Increment is on the card, moving up or rising in status is on the card if you play your cards very well, if you work very hard. So the increment may come by either through moving up within the career ladder in your organization or even outside of your organization, but it could be with a service change, which could also be resulting in some long distance travel or moving away from where you are currently staying or working. So some distance away from your location may also be that opportunity comes for you, maybe even in another city, for some of you even in another country, especially with Pisces being the sign of the natural 12th house as well. So overall a very good period for Pisces ascendant natives, especially with Saturn being protective in one Dusthana being aspecting the other Dusthana, which is Karaka of activating service, activating increment, activating higher status, activating long distance travel, activating also move up or moving into a new organization as well. So friends, now that we have seen how Saturn turning direct will bring out different opportunities for different rising sign people, please also see where Saturn is placed in your respective horoscopes, what doshas or yogas it is in, what doshas or yogas are Rahu or Ketu or Jupiter also placed in, because basis that the opportunities may be varying for you, may be different for you, and some different potentials may also be getting activated for you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. And till some other time with some other video, this is your friend Astrologer and Guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.